Uh, great home victory. The energy was unmatched at U.S. Bank. Obviously, it's great to find a way to get our second win at home, fifth win in a row, and continue to build off the momentum. And at this point, it's kind of starting to feel a little bit like last year, where we're kind of closing out these games, whether it's from an offensive standpoint, defensive, or special team standpoint. And guys are starting to, kind of label themselves as closers at this point and finding ways to win, which is really, really important. And now we kind of transition to how do we handle success, getting ready to go on the road, Sunday night football, big time matchup versus a team that's kind of hitting their stride and kind of finding their identity and playing really well in all three phases. It's going to be a good matchup, going to be a physical battle on the road, I'm sure. The stadium is going to be rocking. It's going to be a lot of noise. And so we'll see how we're able to kind of handle a little bit of adversity, a little primetime action. Get to see old buddy, old pal, and BK. Looking forward to it.
Talk about handling success. I mean, what are the steps you guys take as coaches with some of these young guys to try and do that?
Yeah, that's a good question, especially when you start kind of talking about a younger group of core players that we have. I think it's important that we maintain, figuring out what your routine is, especially consider as you get into the latter part of the year, the schedule changes a little bit. Want to get guys out the building a little bit earlier, kind of get them off their feet a little bit more. It turns into more kind of above the neck, where we're really emphasizing more mental than physical taxing on the body. And so, these young guys kind of got to figure out what their new routine is and how they want to go about that, knowing that, you might not get as many live reps as you did at the beginning of the year, because we're just trying to make sure that you all at your maximized sales come on Sunday. And so it really boils down to kind of process and routine, knowing that you're not getting as many physical reps and it's more so kind of walk through and more above the neck kind of on field type of action rather than kind of full on, a lot of full padded practices and so forth.
Game last night came down to a quick change field goal. Like, how often do you guys work on that from both sides?
Yeah, and it's dang great question, and that just lets you know, how important special teams really is, and situational football. That was an unfortunate event that kind of took place with the 12 people on the field, and we worked that at least twice a week, whether it's Saturday mornings or Friday when we're kind of doing our situational work. It's an unfortunate event, but it's a learning opportunity for us just to make sure that we're clean and clear on our communication and how we want to operate during those situations, and make sure everybody is all in tune and fully understands, who's in, who's out. Just want to make sure it's a good, clean operation. But that's something that we emphasize on a weekly basis. You can never work those situations enough.
Do you worry that, like, as the clock's kicking down, that's putting more pressure on the kicker? You have to, like, snap it quicker, get everyone out, like the operation changes?
Yeah, it does. It does change a little bit, but it's also something that we work all the time. And so, those situations. Yeah, it's more so about the urgency of it rather than the pressure of it. You move with a little bit more urgency than you are of feeling the pressure of having to hurry and kind of get to your spot right there, which is why we try to create so many game-like situations during the week and throughout the season, just so when these situations do arise, it's not anything shocking or surprising to us, and it's something that we've prepared and been ready for.
We saw this week, Ty Chandler get more opportunity, and just seems to have an extra gear to him. I guess, what do you see from him with the ball in his hands that kind of makes him different?
I think the biggest thing is he's an explosive guy. He's got good first step quickness. It's funny, I mentioned it to the guy Saturday night about I haven't seen every time Ty Chandler touches the ball, something positive happens. And surely enough, on Sunday, that kind of continued to be the story for him. Excited that he was able to get his first touchdown. But I would assume that his role is going to continue to expand within the offense. What a great opportunity that he has, and Ty is just flat out just a football player. He gets it. He understands the scheme. He understands. He has great vision. Again, he's got great first step explosion. He's a tackle breaker. He's a guy that's always falling forward. He's got great contact balance. He's everything you're looking for in a running back, and most importantly, he's just a great human being and a great overall teammate. So I'm excited about the role that he's taking on, and he still's got to hold on to his special teams role as well. So make sure he's got a good lactate threshold.
The Denver kicking thing, is that real? Like with the altitude and everything? Is that
I mean, yes. To say it isn't wouldn't be so, but the altitude definitely does play. Obviously, the air is thinner, ball travels a little bit further, so we got to be clean. I think it more so affects you from a punting standpoint than it does from a kicking standpoint, just in terms of those going in sky ball situations, making sure you got the right touch on it. Because again, the air is thinner. The last time we were out there in the preseason, Mr. Wright probably had one of his better preseason games. And so, we got some good familiarity with what it's like out there, what the stadium's like, the grass, just having been playing out there last year. So, we'd make sure to do a great job of how we go about warming up and kind of getting a good feel of how we want to what the touch is in terms of how much we want to be swinging it on those going in balls. But, we won't allow it to play too much into how we go about things Sunday.